Hey guys, give me a second. This is going to be very difficult for me. This is some more writing I found from my wife. Something she wrote, and I'm going to read it on here. She said, so much goes through my mind, so much so that I don't know where to begin. I guess I could tell you about my first real memory of midnight sky, so many stars, brilliant and sparkling. I could see the faint glow of what my mom said was the Milky Way. I could only marvel and wonder at the magnificence of it. Surely, I thought to myself in awe, something made them. I can't remember what season it was, just where I was, Biloxi, Mississippi. I was about 5 years old, staring at all the beauty. I almost missed the voice. Tara, I love you. The voice spoke gently. I turned my head and I looked up or looked around, just an empty fence in the yard, fenced in yard. My swing set empty, my bicycle laying against the house. I could see Mom making dinner through the kitchen window. My stepdad was inside, probably taking care of my baby brother. Not seeing anyone who could be so close to talk to me, I returned to gazing at the stars, marveling over them. This is going to be hard. Let me see if I can sit in this chair. That I will to see who touched me. Trembling, I glanced at her head at me. Then she stopped and looked over at me. She had this look on her face. I didn't know. I'm sick. Sorry. I didn't know what the look meant, but I know she thought of something. She whipped off her hand, wiped off her hands, and walked out of the kitchen to where the bedrooms were, down the hall. About a minute later, she came back out. She stood over me and handed me a small white book. She said, "What you heard was God." "What's God?" I asked. I looked over the small book, wondering why she gave it to me. "Sweetie, that's for you to find out," she stated. Then she went back to the kitchen to finish the dishes. I laid the book down beside my plate. I finished eating my food. While I ate, I kept looking at the small white book. On the front cover, in little gold letters, it said Holy Bible. That was my introduction to God, the Almighty, the Lord God, the Creator, the Ancient of Days, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end, the Most High God, Yahweh, Great Spirit, Wonka Tonka, Allah, the universe, the goddess consort, the green man. No matter what or how you call the entity that brought everything into existence, this was my first real memory, or as I like to call it, became self-aware. Over the years, I have chased after God. To get him, be with him, only to figure out much later that I have sometime before I get to him, even though God isn't he nor a she. He's a spirit. He can't be he or she. To say this about the Great Spirit, just for my poor small mind to wrap around, I give it a gender, because to call the great I am and it to me is insulting. Yet I have to try to wrap my mind around the mystery that is God. It helps me to relate to the God Spirit. I was raised in a Christian background. My mom was raised Catholic, only to become a Baptist. Yeah, I know, huge leap in the logistics alone. Besides the fact to me there shouldn't even be denominations to begin with. Christ teaches against it, yet man still wants to control crap anyway. Go figure. My dad, on the other hand, to my knowledge, was raised Methodist and converted to Catholicism, yet believes more in Zen teaching than even cracking open a Bible. He once gave me his Bible. It was brand new, never once been opened. He told me he took the Bible because when he joined the Catholic Church, he thought he was going to have to be quizzed to get in. Then he was told that that wasn't how the inducted new church members. Thus, the Bible was never opened. It makes me wonder at times how I've always gravitated to God. My parents didn't push their views of religion on me. Mom would talk about God every once in a while when I had a question, but Dad never really spoke of God. He always steered conversations to how great man is intelligent and imagination was, which of course to me was utter bullshit. I always felt that man's knowledge was empty. I saw how the world was and saw how wrong it was. Most of what man has made is empty. Now that I'm older, I see the need to go back to nature, go back and living in nature, be with it, not separate from it. Sometime later, like a few years, the big question being asked me at the time was, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Ha ha ha, hee hee, cackle. I laugh because I ask this question to senior citizens all the time. Ha ha. You have to see the looks on their faces when I ask them this. It's interesting, believe it or not. I do get answers, real answers, not smart ass, snarky comments. It's nice to hear what their demands are, what their dreams are. They get a twinkle in their eye. As for me, I thought about all the usual answers. Hell, the adults try to sway me with their answered dreams, with their something answered dreams. It wasn't until I watched a Looney Tune cartoon that I knew what I wanted to be. Brunhilde the witch sparkled in my mind. I knew down to the side of me that that is who I was, a witch, not the preconceived notion of what a witch was, but what a real witch was, a healer and a spiritual teacher. When I found out later, much later, that not only is it not a job, but also a revealed thing to me, I did not ask any questions because every time I came close to asking, I got answered before I even opened my mouth. So I learned quickly that I had to be quiet about what I knew I was when I got older. I sought out ways to learn about what I was, only to find out it was through word and mouth that you can learn. Through trial and error, I went through learning what it took to be a healer. I've gone down many paths to learn. I've studied Wicca, Hindu, Hebrew, Tao, Shinto, Native American, Christ, and many other faiths. Not fully though. Try for a better word the right way. Most of my life has been a journey through the spirit. The path that impacted me most was Christ. There you go, boys and girls. That's what she wrote, except looking for places to rent to leave me. And I won't be ever bringing out those books where she sat there and looked at all the negative instead of finding anything that was worth listening or watching or being or paying attention to about the relationship. Anyway, um, we're coming to a close on her chapter. And we're going to get back into studying our chapter. And yeah, Tara, if you see this and you don't hang it up or block it before you even see it, I read your words that we studied when we were together, and I read this out here on this. The more I read, the more I realize that even in the beginning of our relationship, even though you stayed, I still didn't have a chance. But don't decorate stuff in the house, but you're saying that you want to believe in God, and God says don't do that. You're watching these tarot cards. These tarot cards are corrupt. I've done the study. I don't care if you believe me or not. I've done some study, and I've got more pages than I can count on the study. Y'all be good.